The Spooktacular Stroll, CNY's not-so-scary Halloween experience for the family, is back. Walk through the half-mile trail in the Bewitched Woods at Long Branch Park in Liverpool every Thursday through Sunday in October from 5 to 9 p.m. Pack the car full of your little goblins. Admission is by the carload. Upstate Golisano Children's Hospital's Spooktacular Stroll is presented by Upstate Honda Dealers. Get your pre-sale tickets today at spooktacularstroll.com.
Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome to Newhouse Afternoon on ESPN 97.7 and on Twitch at QSportsTalk.com. My name is Cedric Derecho, and I'm here with Teddy Caputo and Brooke Kilgore. Teddy and Brooke, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Glad to be with you guys, and we're glad to have you back with us this week, Brooke.
I know it was a little sad missing last week, but we've recovered. I've been activated from the injury reserve, so we're back, guys. We're good. Let's get the show on the road.
We needed that fall break for sure.
Yes, we did, definitely.
Yes.
We have a lot to talk about on today's show. We've got NFL football. We've got the ALCS, NLCS, latest on the MLB. We've got some Syracuse crunch for you and some Syracuse sports. We're going to start off here with SU football. Obviously 5-1 on the season now, 2-1 in ACC play, coming off a big 24-17 win on the road against NC State. Teddy, what are your thoughts of the game, man?
Yeah, I think that the game, it was a little bit of a slower paced game. Our passing game is still looking really good, though, with Kyle McCord, 300-yard passing game for the 6th straight game, and he found 7 different receivers in the game. I think the big question mark, though, still overall is the special teams.
Yes.
You know, we have another kicker now, Jaden O, who his career long was last week 32 yards. So if we are in a close game this weekend and we have to rely on the kicking game, that's going to be something. What are your thoughts, Brooke? I know we were talking before the show about the special teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been interesting to see something so reliable isn't being reliable for your team.
Yeah.
You know, kind of the Stanford game a couple weeks ago, it all came down to that last field goal that they happened to score, and we also missed several field goals in that moment. You take a look at it, your kickers aren't making kicks. Where's the soccer, SU men's soccer squad at this point? Like, pull someone from there. Jaden O getting that career 32-yard field goal last game against NC State. Props to him for stepping up and taking that place. But it's been a little disappointing to see how downhill the team has gone, especially after hiring our new special teams coach in April.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that going into the NC State game, we were second to last in the FBS in special teams, which is pretty concerning.
Yes.
That might be the reason why we've been kept out of the rankings so far. I'm not sure, but you know, with the Stanford game, it was by a field goal that game came down to. That would have changed things at the end of the game for how Stanford would have approached it and how we could have approached defensively. So, you know, that is something we hopefully can address by the game. But what are your thoughts quickly on the game, Cedric?
I mean, yeah, again, going off on the special teams, we still had a missed field goal last game. You know, not nearly as bad as blocked punts and you know, 3 missed field goals in a game, for example. But, you know, if the special teams can step up their game, I mean, we would probably be 6-0 on the season, and we'd be a ranked team, no doubt about it. And despite all of that, this upcoming game against Pitt would give Syracuse their 3rd win of the season if they can pull it off. Yeah. If they looked beatable last week, only a 2-point win against Cal.
Yeah, no, exactly. And SU, they've had back-to-back road victories, so the first time in 12 years. That is huge, so they can carry that momentum into this game. The other thing, too, though, is that LaQuint Allen, he has been an all-around great player for us this year. He's averaging 117 scrimmage yards roughly a game, but he hasn't broken an 100-yard rushing game. And with Will Nixon out for the season, maybe because we use LaQuint Allen so much in the passing game, we need to get Willis involved a little bit more. And basically, this could be the game, but the last 2 games, Kyle McCord has thrown the ball 105 times. If we are limited to throwing the ball on average 50 times in this game, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough because Pitt allows less than 250 passing yards a game. So that's my thing. We got to get LaQuint Allen going on the ground if we can.
Well, what's interesting to me is how McCord has such a strong receiver core, especially with Jackson Meeks kind of going off against NC State, that LeQuint is still taking a lot of these receiving yards and not breaking that 100 rushing yard breakthrough. It's just really interesting to see that. I mean, he talked kind of in that post-game conference about how he kind of trusts everybody out there is reliable, and he's not looking for people to pinpoint specifically. He's not trying to find a Rondé Gadsden, find him and get him the amount of yards he needs. He's just looking for whoever's open. But when your top running back, who has ACC honors, isn't really rushing the ball as much as he should be and kind of acting as an interim wide receiver, it's really interesting to see that. I'm curious what they're going to do against Pitt.
Yeah, what do you think about it, Cedric?
I mean, I guess you're going to have to look for more balance, on the offensive end. I mean, Syracuse has a knack for winning these games in shootouts, and it was a different change of pace last game against NC State. It wasn't pretty, but it was gritty, I would have to say. Yeah,
and that's the thing is the loss against Stanford, we only ran the ball 17 times compared to throwing it 42. So talking about balance, if we're limited in that capacity this game, we could see the same result, unfortunately. But if we stay balanced, we will be okay, because again, Kyle McCord with the play action game getting set up by a good run, maybe can find Gadsden a little more, or someone deep down the field like Jackson Meeks, or so looking forward to that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say something that we were able to see last game is that this Syracuse defense was able to force turnovers.
Yes. I really want to talk about Justin Barron. I mean, Senior Bowl Player of the Week on top of ACC Player of the Week. Huge honoree. Recovered a fumble in the first half, notching his second career interception. He's the team's lead tackler with 8 tackles against NC State, and he notched 2 of those tackles for a loss and a sack in the game. I mean, you're looking at someone who is stepping up in place of Marlo Wax, who is projected to return next week, if I'm not mistaken. So this new lethal defense, I mean, Fran Brown is really bringing that Georgia defensive coordinator attitude. And it's great to see that Syracuse's defense stepped up when I felt like they'd been faltering a little bit in past games, making these games so close. I like to call it a Seattle Seahawks kind of vibe, where you're giving, teams the opportunity to come back instead of just holding them off when you score. And the defense, though, the score was still very close against NC State, the defense really showed up, and it was nice to see all of them complimenting each other. Justin Barron, King Joseph Edwards, Fadil Diggs, they were all going out there and bringing a sense of leadership back to the Syracuse defense.
Yeah, and that's key, because a lot of these games have been shootouts. SU is scoring on average like over 33 points a game to try to keep up with the other teams. So if their defense can be reliable to keep it low scoring, it takes a little bit more pressure off the offense.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, they allow defensively 127.5 rushing yards a game, 229 passing yards a game. And then despite that, I feel like they're getting closer and closer each and every week to playing complementary football. The special teams, they did step up. Granted, they still had a missed field goal, but it was a better performance last week. And then the defense was able to force turnovers, as we said. So, now that we know what the offense can do, I mean, we all know what the offense can do. No shortage of weapons there for Kyle McCord. He's doing something that no Syracuse quarterback has ever done, 6 straight 300-yard games.
Yeah, and that's impressive. I know Marlo Wax coming back, whether it's this week or next week, that'll be huge for the team. I know Fran Brown has really made it an emphasis to keep him on the sideline as part of the leadership of the defense. That leadership, though, only grows when he's back on the field and can really bring that momentum. And it's key to have him back on the field, because our running defense has been a little lackluster this year, especially with him off the field. I do believe that will improve, and also the pass rush will improve, and also the quarterback scrambles. We allow the quarterbacks to get out there and scramble against us. That's a point of weakness for us. Maybe with Marlo Wax back, we can either put more pressure on those quarterbacks so the scrambling isn't as easy for them, or maybe have him as a spy to make sure that they don't even have those opportunities.
I mean, the impact of this upcoming game against Pitt cannot be understated. If we win this game, I think Syracuse is a ranked football team. I mean, that would be their 3rd ranked win of the season. Right now, they are the 8th team out, according to the latest AP Top 25 polls. They did receive 13 votes there. And so despite that loss against Stanford, a chance to be ranked here, in my opinion.
something that was really fun to look at. I don't know if you guys were on Twitter in the past couple of days, but everyone saw Michigan ranked at 24th.
Sandwiched in between Army and Navy. Who would have thought?
It's very interesting to see that, and lots of people were placing polls of other teams that deserve that 24th spot, and Syracuse was on it, which was great to see, even though we have 13 AP poll votes, and Vanderbilt, Nebraska currently lead with over 60. People see Syracuse as a contender in this race, and it's just a completely different environment, being here last season, the Dino Babers era, where we came out strong and then Clemson came and washed away our prospects and our dreams. It's just nice to see people still considering us in this race. They still take us as a threat offensively and hopefully now defensively, and maybe we can continue this push and kind of come up over the top. I don't know if we'll get to 30 AP poll points unless we continue this winning streak, but it's just nice to see that change in atmosphere so far.
Yeah, and this will definitely be the game to do it. I look at teams on here like Army and Navy. Yes, granted, they're undefeated, but they haven't really played anybody too impressive. I think the most impressive team on either of the resumes is Memphis. So if we get this win, it could definitely propel us over them, but we'll just have to see. Hopefully with us beating Pittsburgh, it might knock Pittsburgh off and we take their spot, and maybe some other teams lose, and that helps us out as well.
Just going back to Jackson Meeks here, 11 catches last game. I mean, just again, man, the weapons offensively. I mean, Trebor Pena, Aronde Gadsden, LeQuint Allen. Somebody
and
comes
Amari
up short.
Hatcher as well.
Amari Hatcher, there's always somebody stepping up for this team.
Yeah, exactly. And it's interesting, Brooke, we were talking that Dan Villari, he had a presence last year, not really having much of a presence this year. They actually put him in the backfield last game and had him start running the ball, so he might be another running back option to take some stress off of LeQuint Allen. But yeah, no, if they can get that run game going, you have Aronde Gaston, who's a playoff threat, play action threat. Umari Hatcher, too, Trebor, Jackson, but then Dan Villari, underneath. So maybe we can start utilizing him as well as we get the run game going. So like you said, Cedric, so many weapons to choose from.
Well, it's just nice because they've been kind of silent but deadly weapons. Like you don't have that, Aronde Gadsden, though he did go down last season, he was the starting guy. He was the person that everyone was talking about. He comes out now, but only 74 yards with 6 receptions against, in that game. And it's just a little disappointing to see that. But then Jackson Meeks coming out of nowhere, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Trebor Pena also contributing 75 yards. They're coming in, and I know we keep hitting on it, but Kyle McCord has this diverse wide receiver lineup that he gets to play with, and it's just great to see that with teams that don't only rely on one player to consistently keep them alive. It's great to see a new wide receiver core, and it's great to see that it's not just one person anymore, and it could be a variety of people. Granted, it would be nice to know, okay, this guy's going to be kind of the stable person and we'll see him every game, but it's just nice to see this great lineup and this new variety of people.
But when you have a variety of weapons like that, it's hard to double cover them. So then you get someone like Aronde open, or anybody else. Umari Hatcher is a deep threat down the field, and you got to try to stop him. So really good for Kyle McCord and the Syracuse offense.
After this short 4-minute break, we'll be talking NFL football. You're listening to Newhouse Afternoon on ESPN 97.7. Watch us on Twitch at qsportstalk.com. Give us a shout out in the Twitch chat, and we'll answer some of those questions and talk about whatever you guys want to hear.
Should have pulled this up.
You guys are clear.
Thank you.
Cool, thank you.
I have the season averages of the special teams and then the NC State one. I should have pulled this up and talked about it.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
So do you want to go New York football first and then end with Thursday night football, or you want to talk Thursday night football first, then New York?
Let's probably do the New York first, and then we'll end with this Thursday.
I had this too. Oh, no.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, no.
No, you're good.
Oh, well.
Don't worry about it. See, we ran the ball with him a lot more against NC State, but, only 12 rushing attempts a game. That's what I'm saying.
They were probably waiting for it, honestly.
Yeah,
they knew.
If you're going to use LeQuint more in all around in the offense, like passing, you got to start running the ball with other people, too. That's why you have the freshman Willis in the backfield, and then they started running the ball with Dan Villari. So... because Will Nixon's out for the season. That's kind of tough, and he was helping carry the load. I'm looking at the chat here. Let's see if we can get some people in the chat who want to interact with us. Next. Oh, actually, I'll just throw this out there. Our next show is on Halloween, 2 weeks from now.
What costumes should we wear?
Exactly. We were talking about dressing up, costumes. If you guys want to give us some suggestions, now is a good time. Because, we have 2 weeks to think about it. But, hey, we want to please the audience, so...
And the question is, do you guys want all of us to match, or do you guys want all of us to have like complimentary costumes?
Yeah. Ooh, that'd be good.
Pull out my Seahawks jersey. You could wear a Patriots jersey. You could be the football. We could go with the 5-yard line. Great Super Bowl 49.
Right. Yeah. That's a good one. That is a good one. But yeah.
Or we could have Fred, Shaggy, and Daphne right here.
Oh, there you go.
I'll dye my hair.
Scooby-Doo theme.
Scooby-Doo theme.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, maybe you get Scooby-Doo. Like, one of us is Scooby-Doo.
I'll be Scooby-Doo.
You'll be Scooby-Doo?
I can volunteer to be Scooby-Doo. I have no problem with that.
So I would be Shaggy then.
It's that
and then
dog
you would
mentality.
be either Daphne, probably, right?
Daphne, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder then, like, guys, let us know. Oh, right here. Says dress up as Paulie, Steve, and Jordan. I like that. I could easily see Cedric being Jordan. And I think from there, just be determined.
Oh, please don't.
I don't know, Jordan. I don't know. The fans want it, man. The fans want it.
What did he say?
He said, please don't. And then Mike says, please do. So, oh, man. It's okay. I could definitely get you the Jordan wardrobe. I can get the Jordan look down on you. For us, we'd have to figure out the Paulie Steve look.
Okay.
Which one of us going to be Paulie and which one would be Steve? Oh, that'll be funny. I don't know. You might have to wear a wig or something.
Do you want me to read each question? Like I can drop in the Steelers, like each game?
Yeah, you can. Okay. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would say at the end of each topic, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or do you want me to like preview it? Or not? Like.
Alrighty, I think we are back with some more NFL football, and maybe not. I heard a break, so.
No, not yet.
I meant more introduce the topic.
Wait, say it again. How long do we have?
Okay, thank you, Jordan.
45, dude.
45. I just heard that pause that I'm just like, to me, like, dead air means we're back on air. Okay. Yeah.
He was ready. He wanted to get back on the air.
Who's taking us back on? Are you, Brooke? Are you taking us back on, or is Cedric taking us back on?
Cedric can, and then I'll introduce each game that you guys are talking about.
Cool.
That sounds good.
Cute.
This is the last commercial, I think.
Oh.
I need my computer to load.
We'll get to this next break, but that's an idea.
I love that.
Oh.
ESPN 97.7 and 100.1. Watch live on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Welcome back to Newhouse Afternoon on ESPN 97.7 and on QSportsTalk.com. We've got NFL football to talk to you about, the latest on football in New York.
Hey guys, so Thursday night always means Thursday night football, and it's not New York oriented, but we've got a kind of big matchup here, the New Orleans Saints and the Denver Broncos. Tonight, the New Orleans Saints are trying to snap a 4-game losing streak, and they're coming off a 51-27 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Hurricane could not stop Tampa Bay. They went off on the Saints recently. The Broncos were 3-3, 2-1 on the road this season. They've kind of outscored their opponents, 112-96 on the year. Cedric, what are you thinking so far?
I think this is a crossroads game for both teams. I think it's a must-win for both. There's a lot of expectations there in Denver with the way their defense is playing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big test for Bo Nix. 1,082 pass yards on the year so far, 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Very pedestrian numbers, I would say, Teddy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was going to say the Broncos defense is looking really stellar, but the Broncos offense is looking just as bad, if we're being honest. He's still trying to figure out the system. He's not playing horribly, but he's not playing well enough for the Broncos to be considered a threat. Because, their defense is, many people would say it's top 5 in the league, but their offense could also be considered bottom 5 in the league. So that's kind of where they stand with a 3-3 record. But this game, I was saying, could be I'm thinking really could be a big game for Bo Nix in his development, because they are going up against a banged up Saints offense. So it doesn't appear to me that their offense is going to score a lot of points. Derek Carr is still out. You also have, Spencer Rattler is their backup, so he hasn't been super stellar.
He started off the game pretty well last week, and then he had a bit of a reality check.
Yeah, no, exactly. So, but again, the Bucs defense, yeah, they're good, but the Broncos defense has been really good as well. Allowing less than 200 pass yards a game. They're top 5 pass defense in the league. Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed are both out for Spencer Rattler too, his top 2 receiver targets. So trying to get the ball to other players, you're going to have to really focus on Alvin Kamara, and it's pretty easy to focus on one guy and stop him. So I think this will be really good for Bo Nix. I do think the Broncos are going to play well defensively. It's up to Bo Nix really to carry this team offensively and get this. This is a game he can help get the Sean Payton system down pat.
And this is a weird season, isn't it? Because talking about that New Orleans Saints defense, they did really well the first 3 weeks of the season. They shut down the Panthers, did very well in dominating the Dallas Cowboys on both sides of the ball. And then they hold the Eagles to 15 points, even though they lose a close one there. And then yet last week, Tampa Bay hangs 51 on their heads. Yeah, no, exactly. I think basically when you have the ability to score a lot of points like the Saints did at the beginning of the season, it helps bring confidence to their defense. But you lose Derek Carr and you're relying on Spencer Rattler, who, he started off the game pretty hot, but just couldn't keep the momentum going. And now Baker Mayfield, he's firing on all cylinders, being able to play with Evans and Chris Godwin, 2 of the best receivers in the NFL. They've been banged up a little bit at running back, but they are getting Rachaad White back too, which is going to help them going forward. And they still have a lot of guys from the Super Bowl team on defense too. So the Bucs are looking really good, but basically a depleted Saints team, it's going to be tough for them. This is a huge week for Bo Nix to come back and really capitalize on the opportunity given to him. And he has an opportunity for the 2 young quarterbacks have an opportunity to shine in prime time here. Bo Nix, Spencer Rattler, obviously all that hype for Rattler coming in, throughout his college football career. Yeah. No, totally. But I also wanted to look at the another game coming up on Sunday Night Football, New York Jets and Pittsburgh Steelers. That is going to be a huge game because there's a couple storylines here. You have Russell Wilson possibly making his first start of the season after Justin Fields has led them to a 4-2 start. Which is great, but as we were talking about, Cedric, his performance hasn't really been, I guess, impressive enough to allow him to keep that job. They're thinking maybe Russell Wilson can jumpstart the offense a little more, but what are your thoughts on that? I think it's been very much a game management type performance from Justin Fields so far. Nothing screams out at me here at the numbers he's putting up this season, and so it'll be interesting to see that veteran presence that Russell Wilson brings to the locker room, to this team, see how if he could jumpstart this Steelers offense, because I think with the pieces they have, there's room for improvement there, no doubt about it. Yeah, no.
Well, and something interesting, this would be his first start since week 16 of last season when he was a Denver Bronco. Mm-hmm. And you just look at the numbers here. Justin Fields, he leads the NFL in percentage of pass attempts, traveling fewer than 9 yards in the air. When last season, Wilson was 4th in the NFL in percentage of pass attempts that traveled 20-plus yards in the air. So this, like you were saying, this could jumpstart the offense here, but it's also, trying to see if he can come back. He's missed a lot of football, but Russell Wilson, his work ethic, his intensity. I still remember watching Seahawks games where he was injured and he would run back out onto the field. Concussion questions here and there, but It's just going to be interesting to see. Yes, he could jumpstart this offense, but is he 100% ready to come back? Is he going to be in the same mentality that he was wearing the orange and blue, or even the blue and green? And is this going to be the right decision here? Can they get that drive that they need to take down the Jets, especially with Aaron Rodgers being such an offensive threat right now?
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing too is like this is a good opportunity for the Steelers with Russell Wilson to try to jumpstart their offense, but their main receiver weapon on the outside is George Pickens. So, they haven't been throwing the ball that far down the field. Maybe Russell Wilson will have some success, but I have been seeing something too, like depending on how Russell Wilson plays, if he can't get that success down the field, maybe they attack, maybe they go get a receiver in the trade market to help him out. They were even considering maybe DeAndre Hopkins would be a good option to put on the other side of the field because the receivers have been they've been hot on the market with two other New York teams making big pickups this week. We see the Bills with Amari Cooper, and then of course the Jets, as we're looking at this game still, will have Davante Adams join Aaron Rodgers. And I just wanted to touch on that really quick. Their career stat line here: 622 receptions, 7,590 yards, and 69 touchdowns in 108 games between the Aaron Rodgers-Davante Adams duo. So bringing that back together is really special. Do you think, Cedric, how do you think that will help the Jets? Do you think that's going to redeem their season?
I think it'll be really interesting to see the dynamic with Davante Adams and Garrett Wilson on the same team, because then now you got a 1 and 2, very much to how similar they're like with the Eagles here with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
Yeah.
And you have all of those years of chemistry with Rodgers and Adams. You got Nathaniel Hackett back as, he got demoted.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen here how this offense will look. But I do think that, there's no doubt about it. Davante Adams provides a big spark for this offense. 2-4 on the season. It's a must-win game for them.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. And I think it'll really help the passing game because I think it's going to be really hard to double-team Davante and Garrett Wilson. One of them is going to get one-on-one coverage. And, with Davante Adams, you see how Aaron Rodgers picks apart the defense with his one-on-one coverage. He's starting to develop that, too, with Garrett Wilson. But, like you said, maybe it could impact that development because Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson were getting those reps, which were kind of similar to how he was doing it with Davante, but it could very well help too. So we got to see what this will do, but at the same time, the Steelers are legit on defense with the pass rush. TJ Watt is such a threat. So if they can protect Aaron Rodgers, he's got time to throw it to those guys. I'm thinking it will be good for them, but they also got to get the run game going because it's just been kind of lackluster.
Well, the next question I have for both of you is, getting this trade from the Raiders of Davante Adams is great, but is he going to be up to speed in the playbook? He's just coming off a hamstring injury that caused him to miss the past 3 games of the season. Do you guys think he's going to be ready to go out on the field Sunday?
I think he will be.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, again, Aaron Rodgers is throwing him the ball. They have had that connection for so many years. He might not know the whole playbook, but they got some special packages for him.
I hear that. All right, well, for our next game that we want to preview, the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. There's been a little bit of controversy. Philadelphia's looking a little, tired out there at times. And, the New York Giants coming off, they did have that amazing last-minute game against the Seattle Seahawks. I hate to keep bringing it up, but it brings me pain every time I think about it. But, Teddy, what are we seeing in that matchup?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because Malik Neighbors is expected to return this week. He's been the catalyst for the Giants offense, and really I think if we can get him going, or the Giants can get him going, you also have just got to get him going. But the Eagles, they just haven't been looking too impressive, but they've been getting their weapons back as well. Last week they had A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back, and so they were kind of like, even with them back, they weren't firing on all cylinders, I should say, against the Browns. So hopefully this week it'll help them out. But I know, Cedric, your team is the Eagles. What are you thinking? What are you thinking about all this?
I say calm down, pump the brakes here, give it time.
Give it time.
Because there was a lot of rust factor there last week. Remember, they're just getting back A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith coming back from that concussion. They're also coming off a bye week.
Yeah.
And so multiple factors of rust there. Give this offense time to gel. Give it a few games. The schedule softens up toward the middle of the season. And so I think if the Eagles are going to go on a run this season, it starts right now.
Yeah. No, it's very possible. I think now you got the pieces back. Jalen Hurts had his first game, I think, in 9 or 10 games without a turnover. Maybe that will help boost his confidence, because with that long streak, I mean, he hasn't been maybe carrying that same confidence. But if you get that confidence, that swagger, they could return to the once Super Bowl team that they were. So we'll have to see about that. But it's interesting because we also look at another game this week. As we mentioned before, a lot of teams are getting either their receivers back or they're getting new receivers. The Bills with Amari Cooper now. So I want to hear what you guys think. What impact do you think that'll make to the Bills' offense, especially in the passing game?
Oh, Amari Cooper is going to be huge. I mean, Buffalo has been racking up wins this season, 4-2 on the year, without a true wide receiver one. Yeah. And now they've got that in Amari Cooper. And then we already know what Josh Allen can do with the football. It's going to be explosive in Buffalo. Yeah, no, I agree. And their top receiver this year, Khalil Shakir, I mean, he's okay. He's doing pretty good, but he's also not like a deep threat like Amari Cooper has been. Amari Cooper brings a little bit more size, so, you know, the Bills get their run game going, and as they have throughout the year. If they keep getting that going, you get Josh Allen in the play action, and then basically you can utilize Amari Cooper in the play action deep down the field.
All right. So we want to have a little bit of fun in this segment and make sure everybody's just having a good time with us today. So if you guys are not on TikTok or on social media, there's this new trend called Boom or Doom. It was started by a son and his father, and basically they would rate different things, calling it a boom or a doom. That's my best explanation of it. It recently came up on my page. I'm a little late to the party, but, you know, Cedric and Teddy, I want you guys to either give a rating of a boom or a doom to each of these teams' seasons. Okay, so Cedric, I'm going to start with you. The Eagles season. Are you going to give it a boom, or are you going to give it 3 booms? Or are you going to give it a doom? How are you feeling? I'm going to go 1 boom. It's still early. They haven't been very impressive, but I think they're going to turn it on with their weapons coming back. All right. Teddy, how do you counter?
Yeah, specific about the Eagles, the Giants, any of these teams, which one do you want me to cover?
Let's go Eagles. Let's keep you guys on the same page. I want to see if there's going to be any controversy here between you two.
That's a good point. I kind of agree with that. I think 1 boom is good. You know, looking at their schedule coming up, they have the Giants, the Bengals, the Jaguars, the Cowboys, all teams that haven't really been doing extremely well this year. They do have chips on their shoulders trying to improve their seasons like the Eagles do, but this could be a good stretch of games now that the Eagles are getting their weapons back. Maybe they could go on a little bit of a run here, and then when they get later in the season, they play the Commanders, the Ravens, the Steelers, and then of course they will play the Cowboys again, but maybe this could be a good run for them. Again, their schedule, I think early on was a little tougher, but I think it's a boom for them. I really do.
So 1 booms. So we're tied at 1 boom. No dooms yet, guys. So this is a very positive stretch so far. But we're going to turn to the Giant season. So Teddy, I'm going to come right back to you. 1 boom, 3 dooms. You can go as many as you want. How are we feeling about the New York Giants?
Man, I want to go with honestly with 2 dooms, just because you know they got rid of Saquon Barkley. I don't know, they just don't seem like the same team. You have Malik Neighbors, who literally is their only hope. He is saving Daniel Jones out there, and they just got to get it going. Like if they can't get Darius Slayton and Wan'Dale Robinson alongside Malik Neighbors going and really develop the offense, I don't know. I don't really see it. What are your thoughts, Cedric?
Lock me in for that double doom as well for the Giants. And you know what? I will tell you why. With each passing game, it's looking like that the Giants should have paid Saquon Barkley and not Daniel Jones. Yeah. And I stand by that. I mean, as you said, Malik Neighbors is their entire offense, and I just don't think this team has what it takes to win the close games. I mean, we saw it last week against Cincinnati and what was a must-win for both of those teams. And without Neighbors on the field, the Giants only put up 7 points. I just don't think they have enough offensively. I mean, it's all Neighbors, and you need more, I think.
Daniel Jones is just not cutting it. I mean, even as a rushing threat, he has not been carrying the team this year. He's only averaging 27 yards a game on the ground. And he hasn't gotten in the end zone on the ground. Only 6 passing touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's just not looking like the same quarterback that he was before they paid him.
All right. Well, we were hoping for a little bit more controversy, so maybe this last one will get you guys to think a little differently here. So we've got 1 boom for the Eagles and 2 dooms for the Giants.
Ooh.
How are you feeling about the Jets?
Ooh.
Teddy, we'll start with you again.
Yeah. I don't know. That's tough to say. I want to... Honestly, I want to give the Jets a 1 boom.
A 1 boom.
A 1 boom. Cedric might disagree with me there, but...
You can see his face.
Yeah, no. I think there's some potential here. Again, their schedule doesn't look too difficult going forward. They have to play the Dolphins 2 more times, who are depleted without Tua. And then the Patriots team that doesn't look too great, neither do the Jaguars. Again, if this... We got to see how they do on Sunday night. I think Sunday night is a big test for them against the Steelers because, again, the Steelers are a formidable defensive team. If they really can't cut it against the Steelers, then maybe I'll flip course and go doom. But if they play well, then I can see the boom.
All right. Cedric, are you going to change it?
I am going to change it. Finally, we have some differences here, folks.
Yes.
I'm going to go 1 doom on the Jets season so far. I mean, they're 2-4. They're a team in turmoil. They got let go of their head coach. He had to be escorted out by security, for crying out loud. That hasn't happened in the Jets organization in over 20 years.
Wow.
So, they haven't proven anything to me yet. Yes, they trade for Devontae Adams, but is the Devontae Adams-Aaron Rodgers connection going to look like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, on the Warriors, or is it going to look like Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett on the Nets?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To reference basketball there. They need to prove to me that they can turn this thing around. And again, it starts Sunday night. They haven't convinced me yet. I got to see more.
Yeah. I think Sunday night will be the deciding factor. Maybe in 2 weeks I'll be like, wow, the Jets are doomed, like triple doomed. But we'll just have to see.
All right, after this short 4-minute break, we'll be talking MLB, the ALCS, NLCS. Does the Subway Series happen? You're listening to Newhouse Afternoon on ESPN 97.7. Watch us on Twitch at qsportstalk.com.
All right, did chat give us any?
Yeah, let's see. Well, the funny thing is,
Costco boys.
Yeah, it's funny because someone said all 3 of you should be Otto. We should be. It's like get costumes from the student Ottos.
From the student Ottos.
What if we just all showed up as Otto? There's 3 Ottos here. Oh my gosh.
Orange fever. How about that?
Ooh.
Yo, I like that. Oh man, it'd be so funny too because it's like, I mean, I guess because you could hear us talking, you can then tell like who is who. But then you couldn't tell who is who. Like Cedric sits down there, but what if we switch him here?
What if we switch?
Yeah, and it's like you're trying to figure out, and we just look straight the whole time. Like we don't look at each other, so we leave everybody guessing like who is who. Who? Where's Teddy? Where's Cedric? Where's Brooke? Oh, that'd be funny.
Have a guessing game.
Yeah. Almost like you know how they do it at the SU games. They have the drone thing.
Oh, the drone! I love that game.
Yeah, it's like we should just like maybe do it with Brooke. Like have her put on the auto thing. Like mix us all around really like fast before the show starts. And
all you
people
just
are
see
like,
is a blur.
Which auto is Brooke?
Which auto is Brooke?
Oh, that's funny. Oh man.
We have to invest soon because all the costume companies are going to be running out of stuff soon. So let us know.
Exactly. But Costco boys.
Did I say that wrong?
Yeah.
They're Costco boys, right? You know them. Yeah, fun fact. Cedric knows the Boomer Doom people, so very cool.
Shout out Point Pleasant, New Jersey, and the Jersey Shore before the boys moved down to Florida.
Oh, there you go.
We have a celebrity in our midst right now.
Yeah.
Well, more like celebrities were in my midst.
In your midst.
Yeah.
It's the Kevin Bacon theory. Do you know that theory? Do you guys know the Kevin Bacon theory?
I feel like I've heard of it.
It's basically how many people away from Kevin Bacon you are.
Oh.
So for me,
how many degrees of separation?
Yeah, how many degrees of separation? So you're 1 basically. If it was Russell Wilson, I would probably be 2. And then who's a celebrity that you've met?
Oh, I not met as in I had a conversation with them, but I did fist bump Mike Tyson. He was
that's sick,
inducted into
dude.
the Hall of Fame.
So there you go. 1 Kevin Bacon away from Mike Tyson.
Oh.
So there you go. How many Kevin Bacons are you away? We're all under 6, which is great. So
okay, that's interesting.
It's a fun game.
Because I looked it up, and so Because I didn't know what that meant, so that's interesting. I did meet Daryl Strawberry, though.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at a Syracuse Mets game last year. So I was able to meet him, which was cool.
No, that's great. Do you think the chat knows about the Kevin Bacon theory?
Yeah, I'm not sure. So the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
So, but yeah, chat, let's hear from you about the Kevin Bacon theory. Who are you the first degree away from a celebrity, and then who are you the 6th degree away from celebrity? If you even know 6 degrees of a celebrity, I don't know. But no, that's really interesting. I'm gonna have to think about that. Maybe we should make a list next time of like.
Should be a segment we should do, like just for fun, just at the end.
Yeah. Cool.
And this kind of works out. We can talk just a little baseball, a little crunch, and then a little Syracuse sports. I think it works out because
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
A and B segments were supposed to be the bulk of it, anyways. So.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The day the cough leaves my throat will be the happiest day of my life.
Yeah.
The day I don't have to use the cough button anymore.
30 seconds.
This beat is great.
Mm-hmm.
Are we doing an NBA preview?
Yeah.
Did you throw that in there?
Yeah.
Cedric, I'll bring us back.
Watch your favorite ESPN Syracuse sports talk shows on QSportsTalk.com. Tomorrow's broadcasting stars today. Broadcasting live from the campus of Syracuse University. This is Newhouse Afternoon.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us again here on QSportsTalk.com, ESPN 97.7, and also on Twitch as well. This hour of Newhouse Afternoon is powered by Drivers Village in Cicero. Go to dvoffers.com for more info. So we've talked to you a little bit about some Syracuse football, some NFL football, looking at some New York teams. We're going to look at some more New York teams, but in some other sports. And this time of year for any of you baseball fans is playoff baseball. We're getting really close to the World Series, and in the ALCS and NLCS we have 2 New York teams featured. We have the Mets taking on the Dodgers and the Yankees taking on the Guardians. And it's really interesting because there is a potential here of a Subway Series final. So Cedric, what are your thoughts? Are we going to see that?
It'll be tough to say, honestly. Those hopes took a hit last night with the result of Game 3. I think it's safe to say with this Central New York audience, most of you guys want to see that Subway Series, World Series, Subway World Series, if you want to call it that. But the Mets are down 2-1 in the series right now. Dodgers, another shutout victory, 8-0 last night. And let me just say this, Shohei Ohtani is just incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible. I mean, that home run he hit last night, he sent that thing into orbit.
Yeah.
I mean, we were debating it at first, just inside the foul pole, but that thing might have gone 600 feet, and I'm not exaggerating there.
Yeah, that was a second deck home run. It looked like a bomb, came off the bat. That was wild. And that was one of 2 home runs that went second deck in the last 2 innings that really sealed that win. The bats were just they were on fire last night for the Dodgers, and for the Mets, not so much. In the second inning, they had an opportunity with the bases loaded to rack up some runs and get some momentum, but Francisco Lindor got struck out on a full count. And so, that early on in the game, that really drains a lot out of you, especially when you have some big bats like Ohtani and Matt Muncy and others. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. They do have another game at Citi Field tomorrow. And we'll see, tonight, actually, they play.
8:08 p.m.
Yes, that's after the New York Yankees and Cleveland Guardians play. So if the Mets win that game, there's some hope, but then they go down 3-1 going back to L.A., that's going to be tough.
Yeah, that is going to be tough. I mean, Walker Buehler was solid last night. 4 scoreless innings. Even though Kopech gets the credit there for the win with a hitless 5th. You already talked about Max Muncy. How about Kike Hernandez with that 2-run homer, to make it 4-0 in the 6th, blowing that game, wide open. And obviously Ohtani with that orbit shot, sealing the deal.
Yeah.
Game 4 is going to be really exciting tonight. We've got the $325 million rookie Yoshinobu Yamamoto, 7-2 on the season, 3.0 ERA, getting the start for LA. It's going to be a big test against the veteran lefty Jose Quintana.
Yeah, now that will definitely be a test. Just looking at the series, when the Mets, the first game they lost 9-0, very similar fashion to Game 3, but they bounced back. So if they want to keep their season alive, they're going to need to bounce back again. They're going to need some big performances from their stars, Lindor and Pete Alonso. It's very possible. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, wow, he, has had a great season, but, he's a rookie, and, his ERA in the playoffs has struggled a little bit. Maybe against the lefty Francisco Lindor, maybe Francisco will have some success against him. So it'll be very interesting to see how that turns out. But what are your thoughts about tonight's game, Cedric and Brooke as well?
Well, first off, the Mets have to prove that they could beat the Dodgers at home. That's something they haven't been able to do this season. Yeah. 4-0 is LA at Citi Field this year, and they've outscored the Mets 26-5 in those games.
Wow.
That's incredible. Yeah, as someone who is a Diamondbacks fan, I don't really want to see the Dodgers advance. Yeah. But, with the play that they've been making, as you just mentioned, the 2 shutout games, but then giving up a game in the middle of those, it's going to be interesting to see if they can hold on to that momentum, as you guys said. But I would love to transition to the Yankees-Guardians game because I'm very big on storytelling. Yeah. And tonight, the Yankees welcome back Jose Trevino, their veteran catcher, who actually went down with injury earlier this year, and catcher Austin Wells stepped in, and he was actually one of the best Yankees stories in 2024. Coming in, the Rookie of the Year contender, hot for most of the summer, hitting .296 batting average, 19 extra base hits, and now we welcome back Jose Trevino. I'd just love to know what you guys are feeling. Do you think the Yankees are going to see a little bit of more of a spark, kind of cut off some of those stolen bases, anything like that?
Yeah, I think that'll really help them. Now, before I continue, I am a Yankees fan, so I really do want to see the Yankees go to the World Series, especially with this lineup that they have. It's looked like the best batting lineup they've had in years with Judge, Soto, and Stanton. That is quite a trifecta of power. And, you also have Volpe and Rizzo with good seasons. But, yeah, now that they're getting Trevino back, the first 2 games, their backup catcher, he's been 0 for 8 at the plate. So, getting Trevino back could spark that part of the lineup, especially if Trevino bats 4th in place of Wells. So that'll be interesting to see. Aaron Judge, too, got his first home run of the postseason the other day. That's big for the momentum of the Yankees, who just last few years they've been in the playoffs. I know last year they weren't, but the last few years they have been. They just haven't been able to get there. So maybe this is the year. But what do you think, Cedric?
I think Trevino definitely bolsters that. Look, the chase for 28, they're 6 games away. Yeah. They're 6 games away, and Trevino just gets them that much closer. A huge game tonight. Clark Schmidt getting the start, 5-5 on the season, win-loss record for the Yankees, 2.85 ERA. The Guardians putting Matthew Boyd out there, just a 2-2 win-loss record on the year with a 2.72 ERA. And the Yankees are the slight favorite according to ESPN Bet. They are set here at -118 to take a commanding 3-0 lead. So, if they can get the job done, as long as we don't see a repeat of 2004 against the Red Sox here, we will get step 1 toward that Subway Series finals.
Yeah, no, hopefully we do. And again, like I said, Aaron Judge getting his first home run of the postseason, that is huge because that could carry his bat throughout the rest of this series. He's only batting 133 in the playoffs. He's not been doing well, but Juan Soto and Giancarlo Stanton both batting above 300, and in those games he hasn't been doing, Judge hasn't been doing so well. They've stepped it up. In Game 1, Soto and Stanton each had a home run, which really helped them. So hopefully we can just get more of the same. Like I said, their batting lineup is so deep where they don't have to basically rely on one guy. But Judge is the heart of this team. So
I think the keys to victory here for the Yankees, just score 5 runs. Score 5 runs. If you can do that, you're likely to get the win. They're 72-13 on the year when they score 5+ runs. Now, Brooke here, I think you have one more boom or doom for us, right?
More boom or doom. Let's get to it, guys. Are we excited about this Subway World Series, or do we really want to see other teams participate? Cedric, are you giving that a boom or a doom?
Give me the boom. Everybody wants to see the Subway World Series, man. I think. What do you think, Teddy? We're going to be fighting if you disagree with me.
Guns a-blazing.
I say boom because we want to see it. Absolutely, I really do. But it comes down to this game tonight with the Mets and the Dodgers. I think the Yankees are going to pull out this series against the Guardians. It seems like this is their year. But in the same respect, it seems like it's the Dodgers' year. Shohei Ohtani is putting on a show. So that'll be tough for the Mets to stop.
So real quick here, we're going to talk minor league hockey coming back to Syracuse. Brooke, I know that you've got the latest for us here on the Syracuse Crunch. What are we looking at?
Yeah, of course. So if you don't know, the Syracuse Crunch are the AHL affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning, who actually are 2-0 right now, 4-1 against both the Hurricanes and the Lightning. Could have been had 3 games, but unfortunately Hurricane Helene came in and postponed that other game. But the Crunch are actually also 2-0 at the moment. They went to Utica last Friday. It was a 5-0 shutout against the Comets, which was goaltender Brandon Halverson's second career shutout, which was great to see. And 3 players also scored their first professional goals. Got Dylan Duke, the Michigan star, coming down and netting in 2 of those. Dylan Gill coming from the Noranda Huskies, scoring 1 of those as well. And then Nico Houghton, he's from Finland, came in, brought down from the Tampa Bay Lightning training camp, and does his job as well. So it was just a great shutout win overall there. It was also the second time the Crunch have opened a season with a shutout. The last time was the 2004-2005 series against St. John's Maple Leafs. Pascal Leclerc, who was the goalie at the time, had 28 saves. Just incredible to see history being made again, but it doesn't stop there. The Belleville Senators came to the War Memorial last Saturday, and it was a 2-1 win. But it was a shootout victory in the home opener. The last time the Crunch went to the shootout in their home opener was October 9th of 2010. So we're almost there. We almost made history. 14 years apart, and that was against the Lake Erie Monsters, which is now affiliated as Cleveland. But that was a 2-1 loss. So it's kind of, again, nice to see the script being flipped there. And the Crunch play this Friday at Laval against the Laval Rockets, and puck drop is set for 7 p.m. Who does not love hockey? I love hockey. It's just great to see, having Syracuse having 2 minor league teams here in the city with the Syracuse Mets as well as the Syracuse Crunch, and just seeing guys, Halverson recording that second career shutout and then having rookies step up and make big plays alongside some of the veterans. It's just like we've been talking about all day, big plays happening and just the resiliency of different teams. It's great to see it. So I don't know if you guys are excited about Crunch hockey, but I'm very excited about Crunch hockey.
I will say, anytime I go to a Crunch game, I love it. The atmosphere is so electric. So I did go to a playoff game one time, and they ended up losing that in a shootout. That was a bummer, but it's really exciting to go to those games. So yeah, I think it's going to be great. I'm excited for the season, especially if they've started off on a hot note.
Oh, that's great.
I'm excited to get out there. I have never been to a Syracuse Crunch game.
You haven't?
So I have not yet. So
we're getting him in for Pink the Rink.
You guys are getting me hyped up
here. Yes.
So, one last topic here we have on today's show. We're going to talk some SU sports. Brooke, I think you have a little bit for us here about the latest on Syracuse volleyball and Syracuse field hockey.
That is another sport that I will never stop talking about. The Syracuse women's volleyball team, yes, they are 0-6 in ACC play, and they just dropped a heartbreaking loss at the University of California. Also want to point out, I grew up in California, never thought I was going to see Syracuse anything play there ever, and now it's great to see that they're traveling across the country. They also did drop a 3 straight set loss to Stanford the other night, but guys, when I tell you this was a heartbreaker, Syracuse was leading 25-21, 25-16 the first 2 sets and lost only by 2 points in the 3rd and 4th set, and then 14-16 after leading 12-10 in the 5th set. it's just crazy to see it. This team, resiliency is my key word. I will pull that out every single day. Syracuse, matched its season high with 57 kills as a team. Ava Palm had 16. Sydney Walker had 16. Taking a look at the transfers, Syracuse going 2-26 last season. You didn't think a lot of people would want to come play here after seeing a bad loss, but these girls believe in this program. Head coach Bakir Ganasharadam really emphasizes that they're coming together. You can look at the mistakes from last season, but they're going to come back and they're going to give it their all. And Ava Palm, the Bakersfield transfer, has just been an incredible asset to this team. She leads the team with 204 kills. The next closest, Skylar George, with 135. Palm is currently the 10th in the ACC. It's just incredible to see how this team, though are 0-6 in ACC, just continue to keep persevering.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a team that went 2-26 last season.
Yeah.
So, even though they're still, on the outside looking in for that first ACC victory, 12 non-conference victories, there's something to be said about that. A lot of growth.
Especially with that big win against Iowa State. That was also a 5-set win. So all the heartbreaking or great, amazing games have been 5-set victories for this team. They improved to 11-0 on that season with that win, and that was the program's best start since 2010. So just a lot of milestones. Yes, teams can dip, teams can make mistakes and get into these holes that they have to dig themselves out of, but they're also making progress and they're making themselves a stamp in this new ACC world where we've added 3 new teams to it, and they're showcasing themselves in my home state and also going to SMU. So I just think this is a team to really highlight. Yes, of course, they're not doing very well right now. Home record of 5-2 and away record of 2-4. But keep an eye on this team. I believe in them. I think everybody should believe in them. Women's volleyball is one of those sports that brings communities together because it is truly a team sport. There is no one person on the team doing everything. It's a team sport.
Definitely a market improvement from last year.
Yes.
And they have the chance to get their first ACC win on Friday when they play Miami. So hopefully they do.
It's going to be a big, hopefully a packed game. Miami is a big team, 11-6 on the season, 2-4 in ACC. So kind of in a similar situation with Syracuse, though they do have those 2 wins. Syracuse has beaten Miami twice in all of the years they've played against each other. Their last win, though, was in 2018. So maybe this could be the chance for Syracuse to make history yet again.
And just a quick shout out here for field hockey. I think it deserves mentioning. Bo Van Kempen is absolutely killing it for this team. Top 12 in the country right now, in a huge game against number 4 Virginia coming up.
Yeah, and she has 11 goals so far, 7 game-winning goals, so it's just great to see how she's doing.
All right, guys, that'll do it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Cedric Derecho.
I'm Teddy Caputo.
And I'm Brooke Kilgore.
And this has been Newhouse Afternoon. We will see you guys in about 2 weeks, but we'll be right back tomorrow with 3 different hosts. Thank you, guys. On ESPN 97.7 and on QSportsTalk.com. We'll see you next time.
Q Sports Talk is your place to be for